This is my final project for Art History 135, Latin America, Mexico Art History. It's called Tattoo for a Friend. I helped my Mexican American friend create his tattoo sleeve in honor of his home country and heritage and all of that from the art history work that we went through this semester. This is my friend Julian. He is an Ironman. He's a firefighter, Cancer son, 10 out of 10 expert uriner for his wife, my best friend, who you will hear about later in the presentation. He spent part of his childhood in his hometown of Delicias, Chihuahua in Mexico, parts of Arizona, and then since has lived in California in parts of college and the Pacific Northwest. He wants a full sleeve tattoo, which is dedicated not simply to his Mexican heritage, but dedicated also to Chicano art and Aztec art. He feels he identifies the most with the following works in this presentation. First one, which will be the main part of the sleeve, it will start at his shoulder and wrap around. You'll see I do have it mocked up at the end of the presentation, is the feathered serpent god, which is Quetzalcoatl. It is present everywhere, or all over rather, in Aztec art. He was specifically inspired by this pictured on this slide, which is from one of the codexes, because it reminded him so much of the stone temple in Teotihuacan. He also liked the colors used in this one specifically. I know these colors are often used in Aztec art and in the codexes for this deity, but this was his favorite, so it's going on him permanently. And this deity is associated with wind, Venus, the sun, wisdom, learning, and intelligence. And as I said, this will be kind of the center focus, so it'll wrap around his arm. And then next we have, he wanted the Aztec day signs for himself, his wife, and their soon-to-be, or their daughter that is not quite born yet. The configuration of these in the tattoo, his will be closer to his shoulder on top. Luna, their unborn daughter, will be in the middle, and Arias, his wife, will be on his wrist. And so Julian's day sign is the reed, Acatl, which is the scepter of authority, which is also, funnily enough, a day in which the arrows of justice fall from the sky like lightning. Luna's, his daughter, will be in the middle. We chose this day of the actual due date of her birth. She's not born yet, so this will change probably, unless she's actually born on her due date, which would be wild. Hers is Itzcuintli, the dog, which is the guide for the dead and the spirit world's link with the living, which I think is really cool because she is still in the womb. Ari, his wife, my best friend, her day sign is the deer, which is the day of the hunt, and it's said to be a good day to stalk your quarry. She's also a Scorpio, so that makes sense to me. And then next we have these Tlalocan mural figures. The mural itself is 1,600 years old. It was found in Teotihuacan. It has a lot of things on it. There's a deity above, and then these figures are from the lower half of the mural section. The lower half is made up of all of these images of people dancing, celebrating, playing ball games, and enjoying themselves in and by the rivers of life, saving water. And it is interpreted as everyday life, these little figures are doing. These figures specifically chosen that you can see on this slide were chosen by Julian. He looked over the mural with me to pick out what he wanted on his tattoo. And his quote about these three specifically, other than that he thinks butterflies are really cool, which they are, is that he's just a silly little guy playing games and enjoying life, which he said these two reminded him of. And then these three altogether are what he chose, and they're fillers in a tattoo. So anywhere there's blank space that something needs to go into, there will be one of these three. So there will be multiples of them in the sleeve, similar to the mural. And then the last, but certainly not least, Julian did grow up the majority of his childhood in Arizona, so he feels very strongly linked to Chicano art. He picked this piece all himself. I gave him a myriad of pieces to choose from, and this was his favorite. And it is a piece by Esther Hernandez, which is called Sun Mad. It spoke to him personally because of the message that Esther put in the art, which was to speak out against the Sun-Made, specifically corporation, but corporations in general, for their abuse of power and labor for their profits. And the abuse of labor and power was specifically to the Chicano community, which Julian is very aware of and has experienced himself, as well as his parents have, and his family and friends. And he felt like this just kind of brought everything together of his experience of being a Mexican-American, a Chicano man in this time and day and age and the world. And the last slide here is the tattoo. It's not done. He does not want to get it done right now. He wants to wait until Luna is born so that the Aztec day sign for her is correct. He doesn't want to get it done with her due date if she's not born that day, and they do change pretty quickly depending on the day, so he will wait until she's born to get this tattoo, but he is going to get it. We used software that a tattoo artist created to lay the tattoo images over his arm that he will be getting it on. So we see here that the feathered serpent wraps around. Anything on the sides will be on the other side of his arm. The software just doesn't allow to do a full 360 that I could figure out anyway. We looked for quite a while. So anything on the sides will kind of go in the gaps and on the other side of his arm. So we see the feathered serpent. We see his Mexican day sign at the top for the reed. We see the Sun Mad Chicana art. In the middle, we see Luna's Aztec day sign, and then we see Ari's on the wrist with another one of the Tlaloc mural figurines. And the butterfly is off to the side. It kind of blends in with his floor, but she will be kind of all over and in the back, as well as up on the top, we see the man dancing. And that will be his tattoo. I will certainly update anybody that wants to see it when it is done. The other part of it is that his tattoo artist, who is also a Chicano man, locally, is booked out very far, so it was not able to be done before the end of the semester, but when it is done, I'm so excited to see it and to see what touches the artist himself adds and what it will be in the final piece of it.